Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see about the software process. So you all know that software is a set of programs, collection of many programs along with the documentation. Let us see what is the software process and how the software engineering is done in the layer technology. So the tools, methods, process model and the quality focus. So normally when you develop anything we need the quality to be maintained, and in order to obtain a quality product we need some process, and that process has to be done obtained through some methods, and for that we are using some tools. Okay, so here let us see one by one in detail. So here any engineering approach must rest on organizational commitment to quality, which fosters a continuous process improvement culture. So here when you develop any product or a process, we are just supposed to improve the quality of the process by a continuous process. It is not a one-time process. It should be done in a continuous way in order to get the improvement in the previous work done. And then all about this process layer is the foundation that defines a framework which with activities for effective delivery of software engineering technology. It establishes the context where products, the model, the data, the report and the forms are produced, milestones are established, quality is ensured and change is managed. So here the process, when you are defining the process, it should be defined in a framework where we have many activities, and the activities all encompass the software engineering technology. So what all can do is it establishes the content where the product, it will be a model or the data what you are using, or it will be a report or the forms. So we know that model is the design of the process, and data is the input to the design, and report is the output, and forms are the sources of the input. It establishes the context, how it can be produced, how the model can be developed, how the data can be produced, what is the format of the report, and what is the format of the input, which is the forms. Milestones are established when you are aiming at any goal. We have to establish the milestones. So milestones are the intermediate steps that we are checking back how much we are reached to our goal, how much we are towards our goal, and the quality is ensured. Every time you reach a milestone, we are supposed to check the quality of the product we have achieved, and also the how the changes managed. If at all the milestone is not reached properly, how the changes can be done in order to achieve the proper goal. So all these things compasses the framework of the process layer. Next one is the method. Method provides the technical how-tos for building the software. It encompasses many tasks including communication, requirement analysis, design modeling, program construction, testing and support. Here this technologically how we are able to do the process, that is done by, that is the method layer. Here it encompasses many tasks including communication. How does communication is, first of all the producer and the consumer, that is the software developer should have a proper communication with the consumer or the user, then only the proper method can be established. And requirement analysis, what is the requirement the consumer is asking for, and what is the requirement available with the system, and how it can be done in an efficient way. So all this comes under requirement analysis. And design modeling, so here when you are going to make a design, first the model should be done, and the model should be discussed between the communication, that is between the consumer and the user, and also the program construction. For the program construction we need what is the current technique or current technology to for the program construction, and also the testing tools. So the testing may be customer side testing or an user or a developer side testing. So how the testing can be done, what are all the technology can be used in testing, and in case any maintenance happens, what are all the methods by which we can support the product from till the end. So for all these things we should have a specific technique in order to achieve the goal. And then finally we are having the tools. So the tools provide the automated or semi-automated support for the process and the methods. So here the tools are the means of means by which the work can be efficiently and easily done. So here in the case of this, when you say automated or semi-automated tools, in the sense, sometimes for example, in the testing, all the testing cannot be automated. So some testing can be automated and some testing cannot be automated. So that has to be done in manual. So the tool should provide whether it is automated support or an semi-automated support. Where the semi-automated is, that can be partially done by human and partially done by the system. So whether it is for the process or the methods, the proper tool should be available in order to reach the proper milestone. Then let us see what is the process. The process is defined as a collection of activities, actions and tasks that are performed when some work product is to be created. So these should be activities, actions and tasks. And then here it is not a rigid prescription for how to build the computer software. We cannot make a clean or rigid prescription about how to build the process, because the process can happen like then and there. We cannot define the process how it can happen till we achieve the product. So we cannot define rigidly. That means it can be flexible in the sense that it goes as the developer likes. And then it is an adaptive approach that enables the people doing the work to pick and choose the appropriate set of work actions and the task. Okay, so here they are supposed to choose the necessary set of actions and how the task can be achieved. So here what is an adaptable approach is, we cannot make a rule to just to say what approach can be done. The approach depends upon the situation and the necessity. So accordingly, the adaptable approach will only help to the people to do the work, pick up whatever they want, and they can choose their own way of doing the things, and that flexibility will give them efficient product and efficient output. So in that way the process has to be designed. And then purpose of the process. What is the purpose of the process? Is to deliver a software in a timely manner and with a sufficient quality to satisfy those who have sponsored its creation and those who will use it. That means it is between the developer and the consumer. Both the developer and the consumer should be well satisfied. It should be well sufficient, the quality, then only, and also in a timely manner. The work should be achievable in an effective, in a time basis. So that is the time, deliver in the timely manner, in the sense when the product is necessary on time. It is just guarantees the on time delivery of the product. So for that is the purpose of any process. The product should be delivered on time, and also it should satisfy both the creator and the user. And then let us see the activities of a generic process framework. There are 5 activities for a generic process framework. First one is the communication. Communicate with the customer to understand the objectives and gather the requirements. So they should have one or more sitting so that they can discuss deeply with the consumer what they are really expecting and how they can be achieved. And this discussion will go in rounds and rounds, and finally they conclude about the planning of the work. So it creates a map, defines the work by describing the task and the risk, and also the resources, work products and the work schedule. So the planning has to be done for all the cases. What task has to be done, what are the risks will be available, and how to manage those risks, and what are resources available, and what are the work products we are going to create, and what is the schedule for creating each work. Because all the work cannot be produced at a stretch. They have to produce the product module by module based upon the time schedule. So if one time schedule is not achievable, they can just adjust the schedule by the next product or the next module of the product. In that way they have to plan for the whole thing. So planning better is always gives a good result. So the planning needs much of the effort by the developer and good communication between the user and the developer. And then modeling. After having many discussion with the consumer, they just well plan the all the schedule and the project and the process, and they will just create the model. That means that a sketch is made. A sketch, it's create a sketch what it looks like architecturally, how the constituent parts fit together and other characteristics. So they will create a model. It's like a simulation process. They make a model, how it look like, how it work, and how it be useful, and that model will help them to create a real product. And then finally the construction. So once the modeling when is done properly and they are satisfied with the models, and the model is developed and it will be discussed with the again with the consumer, then also they can have some rounds of discussion all about again about the planning and the modeling with the consumer, and then finally it will go for the construction work. So what is the construction work in the software development is all about the code generation, that is creating the programs, developing the software, and the testing. So testing is done in different way, both by the developer and by the consumer. In the developer machine, in the consumer machine, there are many types of testing. A testing module is done, a testing plan is done in order to make an efficient testing. And finally, once the test is successful, it is going to the deployment stage. What is deployment is, it delivers the customer, it delivered to the customer who evaluates the products and provides feedback based on the evaluation. So they are allotted to the user who asks for the product, and those users will use the product, and they will have different ways of using the product, and they will find out with the feedback on what they felt about the product working. So based on their feedback, it will be again given to the developer who has created the project, and any changes or any enhancements or any corrections that is requested by the developer, by the consumer, will be done by the developer, and finally a satisfied product will be produced by the developer. So these are all the frameworks in order to have a successful project development. And thanks for watching.